brought to you live via St. Louis, Missouri. This is Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D, and tonight the Cardinals open the first game of a 3-game weekend set against the visiting Cincinnati Reds. And this Friday night we'll open it up, and I have to say, at this point in this part of the season, not that every day isn't a must-win day in the major leagues, but for the St. Louis Cardinals, it's really turning into that, at least here at the moment. So I hope you're all doing marvelously well here, and thank you so much for joining me on part of your Friday night. Let me give you the starting lineup for both of the starting 9 here, beginning with the visiting Cincinnati Reds. Leading off at shortstop is Elly De La Cruz. Batting second at first base is Sal Stewart. Out in left field batting third is J.J. Bleday. Batting cleanup at third is Eugenio Suarez. Batting fifth at DH is Lowe. Batting sixth in right field is Steer. Batting seventh at catcher is Stevenson. Batting eighth in center field is Myers. And batting ninth at second base is Arroyo. Now, for the home St. Louis Cardinals, this is a fairly different lineup than we are used to seeing. And I'm sure there's a number of reasons why it is this way, but we'll get to that in a moment. Leading off at second base is the NL rookie sensation J.J. Weatherholt. Batting second out in right field is Jordan Alexander Walker. Batting third at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting cleanup at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting fifth out in left field is Lars Nootbaar. Batting sixth at shortstop is Mason Wynn. Batting seventh out in center field is Nate Church. Batting eighth at the hot corner is the Rook, Blaze Jordan. And batting ninth behind the dish is Jimmy Crooks. So you'll notice there's been a bit of a switch up there. Jordan Walker is in the 2-hole. Ivan Herrera, after getting the day off yesterday, is now at cleanup. He is batting DH tonight. Everything else seems to be relatively untampered with at the moment, but you can see where they're trying to shake things up with this offense, especially when it comes to waking up Ivan Herrera. Getting him out of the 2-hole might not be a bad idea, and moving Jordan Walker into the 2-hole, well, we'll see if that's an inspired choice or not. But whatever the case is, join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know where you all are watching or listening from. Going tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals is Dustin May. Dustin May this year in 19 games is 5-7 with a 4.78 ERA in 98 innings pitched. 95 strikeouts in that span and a whip of 1.32. And ever since the end of May is when we begin seeing flashes of what he is capable of. However, doing it over sustained periods has been a legitimate challenge for Dustin May. As far as the Dutchman goes, he's obviously dealt with some injury stuff here and there. We all know about that. But the fact of the matter is, he has just been wildly inconsistent. And that is not good for anybody. And going for the visiting Cincinnati Reds is the 24-year-old right-hander, Rhett Lauder. In fact, the Cardinals faced him back, I believe, at the beginning of June. It was his first start back following basically a month-long stint on the IL. Went 3 innings, gave up a hit, a few walks, racked up a few strikeouts, but he was gone in 3 innings. But now you get the full picture, you get the full stretched out, and as far as we know, healthy Rhett Lauder. But he has not been pitching particularly well. In 17 starts this year, he's 3-7 with a 5.75 ERA. In 72 innings pitched, he has racked up 61 strikeouts in that span, and he currently possesses an ERA of 1.64. So he can definitely get strikeouts, but combined this year, for opposing hitters, they're hitting over 280. So basically, a lot of the balls that are being put in play against him are landing quite favorably to the offense that he is opposing. And then that's the story there. And we're about 5 minutes away here from scheduled first pitch. So join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from. Leading off is Edgar Williams. Good evening. Good evening, Edgar Williams. Justin Beasley. Good evening, chat. Welcome to the stream. Be sure to drop a like and please subscribe. Less than 30 subs away from 1,200. Sub really means a lot, helping the channel immensely, and it certainly is. Thank you, and so are you, Justin. Harold, Paul D of Bombers Game Mike is a premium game caller whose events are joined by knowledgeable and enthusiastic baseball fans. An entertaining and thoroughly enjoyable experience. That means a lot to me, Harold. Thank you so much for the kind words. Alan, Paul, how was your dentist appointment? Uncomfortable, and I am very pleased that it is over. Ron Lyle, good evening, Chat and Paul. Ready for a great game of baseball? Should be a good one. Let's hope they show up. I surely hope they do. And yes, my teeth are fine for the moment. But whatever the case is, let's hope we get to hear the guitars again later. I sure hope so, Justin. I really do. Jazz Wolf, let's go. Live baseball on TV with Paul D. Cheers, Jazz Wolf. And let's go Cardinals, no doubt. The Tacoma Nomad Cardinals fan checking in the chat. Doug Teague, Springfield, Tennessee. Cheers, Springfield, Tennessee. Let me see, yeah. Philip, my guest tonight, Paul, Cards 7, Reds 3. Well, that would certainly be welcome. Ethan, hey, Paul, I'm playing MLB The Show 25, and I'm currently in the 20th inning, and it's an NLWC Game 3. Now, that's a pretty tense moment there, man. I've been in that situation quite a few times myself. Jazz Wolf with the $2 super live baseball ticket. That is incredibly thoughtful and generous, Jazz Wolf. Thank you so much for that. It is greatly appreciated. Need to give May some run support. Yes, indeed. Without a doubt. Brent, coming from Panama City Beach, Florida. Cheers, Panama City Beach, Florida. Let's go Cardinals from Busch Stadium. Please give a shout out to my daughter, Alice, who's tuned in with us tonight. A shout out to you, Alice. Thank you so much for joining us here on Game Mike. Alrighty. Thurman, hey Paul, how's it going, everyone? Let's go Cards. Always good to see you, Thurman, no doubt. Let's go Redbirds indeed. Inquisitor Holt, missed you yesterday. Your call would have taken the sting out of that heartbreaker. I'm glad you think so highly of my abilities. Yesterday was just, not good. It was gross. But the change in the lineup here today is actually kind of interesting. Because you figure he's trying to wake up various parts of the lineup. Moving Jordan Walker to the 2-hole is something they'll do for power hitters from time to time. They've done that a lot with Aaron Judge over the years. It's actually worked out pretty well. And Ivan Herrera, at least in theory, will have more ducks on the pond to drive in. Sitting there in the 4-hole tonight at DH. So we shall see. Nope, the D-backs were yesterday, Ethan. Tonight is the Cincinnati Reds. And tonight, the St. Louis Cardinals are wearing their Red City Connect jerseys, which, as City Connect jerseys go, are actually pretty decent. They made sure they didn't get a chance to go run wild with it up there in Eugene, Oregon. And so the Cardinals are taking the field. Those Cardinal red tops with the City Connect with the birds on the bat and the white The Lou across the chest with white letters and numbers. White bottom with the blood stripes on both sides. Dark cap with a red bill and red STL in block letters across the front. I believe the Cincinnati Reds are wearing their standard primary road grays with their standard red ball caps with the white C on the front of it. And that's nice. So stepping out onto the hill there is Dustin May. He throws a four-seamer, a cutter, a sweeper, a sinker, a curve, and a changeup. He really tries to make good use of that sinker in very specific situations. He will try and induce ground balls with it. The cutter and the sweeper, especially the sweeper, are definitely swing and miss pitches for him. He's able to locate and work off that four-seamer when things are going well. He's generally best when he's working down in the strike zone. Now the Cardinals' defense, Newbar in left, Church in center, Walker in right, Jordan at third, Wynn at short, Weatherald at second, Burleson at first, Jimmy Crooks is behind the dish and battery mate to Dustin May, who is on the mound. So join the Game Mike roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from, as we are just one moment away. On deck there, waiting to walk into the batter's box, is the all-world shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. And if you're ever looking to try and shut down this Reds offense, the best place to start is with him, because when he gets on base, he turns this whole game into a track meet, and that's just not a game anybody wants to play. So stepping up into the box is Ellie De La Cruz. Stepping up to the mound is Dustin May. And proverbially stepping up to the microphone is yours truly. As we are just one moment away. Into the box is Cruz. Righty-lefty matchup. Coming winds May. The first pitch. Hit to the left side. Picked up there on the line by Mason Wynn for the first out of the inning. A wonderful start there. One pitch, one out. Ranging to his right was Mason Wynn, who stabs it on the line for the first out of the inning. So, one out here. Now, here is the righty rookie, Sal Stewart. He's right there in contention for NL Rookie of the Year. Here's the pitch. Strike, sinker on the inside quarter below the belt, and the count is 0-1. Sal Stewart hitting .249, 21 home runs, 74 RBIs this year. Nobody on with one out. Now, here's the 0-1. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball down Broadway, clock 99 miles an hour out of the right hand of Dustin May, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Back into the box is Stewart. Yeah, they have a split screen showing him and JJ there since they're the ones who are competing for that Rookie of the Year. The 0-2. Foul down the first base side and out of play, and the count remains 0-2. No, Sal Stewart has been fantastic this year. A rookie sensation in his own right. Right there with Weatherholt. Righty-righty matchup. He comes wide. He deals. Check swing on the sweeper inside, and it looks like it's being challenged there by Jimmy Crooks for the called ball, the sweeper on the inside corner. So we have an ABS challenge incoming. Let's see the result of this. And it just missed the inside corner. It is confirmed a ball, and the count is 1-2, missed by 0.7 inches. So the Cardinals lose their first ABS challenge. They have one remaining in regulation. It's a 1-2 count. Now, he comes wide. The 1-2 pitch. Hit to the left side. Picked up there by Wynn on the ground. He throws to first in time to get Stewart going down the line. Sal Stewart grounds out 6-3 for the second out. Now, nobody on with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And here comes J.J. Bleday. Bleday is hitting .237 this year in the 3 spot tonight. The lefty hitter will make it a righty-lefty matchup. He's hitting .237 with 17 home runs, 44 RBIs in 73 games, and .823 OPS. Coming winds May. The first pitch to Bleday. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner, challenged immediately there by Bleday. Another ABS challenge incoming, so let's see the outcome of this. We await the result. And it's indeed a strike, and the count is 0-1. Just clip that little piece of the corner down and in with that sweeper. So now Cincinnati only has one ABS challenge remaining in regulation. It's an 0-1 count. Coming wind is May. He deals. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away. Swinging over the top of that one was Bleday, and the count is 0-2. Catching his breath is May on the mound. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right in their alignment with the lefty Bleday at the plate and nobody on. May comes set. He winds. The 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down hacking goes Bleday. For the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 1/2 inning of play, it is the Cincinnati Reds nothing and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. Okay. So far, May is pitching beautifully. He is doing a very nice job, Brother Joe. Good to see you. Dojeball, like, subscribe, share, all about that, Dojeball. Good to see ya. Why no face? Oh, there's a face on there. That's roughly my face, Brother Joe. Don't worry, it's coming soon. It's just taking a little while to get it all set up. One piece at a time, and a lot of moving pieces at that. But you do get a rendering of my mug as if I was on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post. All right. Oh, can anyone tell me what the award that Joe Buck is getting from the Hall of Fame? Okay, I can answer that question. So, the Frick Award is the award that a broadcaster receives that is their official induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame as a broadcaster, the Ford C. Frick Award. I believe that Ford C. Frick was actually a former commissioner in baseball, if I remember correctly. So he's basically, that just means as a broadcaster, he is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I get to join his dad. Oh, thank you so much, Brother Joe. Now, due up here in the bottom of the first inning, J.J. Wetherell, followed by Jordan Walker, and then Alec Burleson. They're going to face Rhett Lauder. Rhett Lauder is not having a great grounding out there. 6-3 is J.J. Wetherell for the first out. Now, here comes Jordan Walker. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Is he in the Hall of Fame? I think he probably is, Thurman. I'd imagine so. Yeah, it really is, Ron. Jordan Walker, 291, 22 home runs, 77 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Strike, sinker, whispers over the black of the outside corner above the knees, and the count is 0-1. So nobody on with one out, bottom of the first. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the slider. Well out and away. Doing a favor there was Jordan Walker to Rhett Lauder, and the count is 0-2. On deck is Alec Burleson, and there does seem to be a timeout here. Not at the behest of Jordan Walker, amazingly. It looks like there's something that is disturbing the flow of the game, I think, in the field of play, just by the reaction of the umpire. Now, the 0-2. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. 15 home runs for the rookie. Walker's looking at it. Yep. Now the 1-2. Swinging strike 3 on the sweeper away. Correction, the slider away for the second out of the inning. So a quick couple innings there for Rhett Lauder, defensive lineman for the Reds. Blade in left, Myers in center, Steer in right, Suarez at third, De La Cruz at short, Arroyo at second, Stewart at first. And Stevenson behind the dish, battery mate to Rhett Lauder, who's on the mound. Righty-lefty matchup, the first pitch of Burleson. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Back onto the bump is Lauder. He has thrown 6 pitches so far. Now the 1-0 pitch. Swinging strike on the sinker on the outside corner below the belt. And the count is 1-1. Yeah, that's been kind of the hole in his swing. It's been his Achilles heel, Brother Joe, is those breaking balls away. Now the 1-1 pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball on the inside corner. Right off the trademark there of Burleson's bat. And the count is 1-2. So nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the first inning, no score. It's a 1-2 count. Burley's hitting .284 on the year. He winds the 1-2. Swinging strike 3 on the slider, down and in for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After one full inning of play, there is no score going to the top of the second inning. I'm Paul D., and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. It's helping this growing channel continue to grow and build this amazing community of not just Cardinal fans, but baseball fans, by the algorithm pushing it out based on your recommendation. And if you're not already subscribed and you like what you see and hear, well, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. All scoreless going to the top of the second inning. All right. Now, that slider that Alec Burleson swung on was actually pretty nasty. That thing was going right back towards his back foot. Had a lot of action on it, both horizontally and vertically. Hard to lay off of, and hard to make contact with in any solid fashion, that's for sure. Yeah, he's actually been inducted, Harold. He is there. So, he has made his way. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Friday night. Thank you all for spending it, well, part of it here with me, with the Reds versus Cardinals. Wouldn't have it any other way. Cheers, Brother Joe. Coming out for his second frame will be the Flying Dutchman himself, Dustin May. Had a quick 1-2-3 top of the first inning. Looked pretty good in that. All right, we are back for the top of the second inning. Due up for the Reds is Suarez, Lau, and Steer. 4, 5, and 6 in their order. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Suarez. Hit to the left side. Picked up there on the ground by Blaze Jordan. He throws to first in time for the first out of the inning. So Suarez grounds out 5-3 for the first out here in the top of the second. And here comes Nathaniel Lowe. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with one out. Top of the second inning, no score. 10 pitches so far for May. He comes one. The first pitch to Lau. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway. Clocked 98 miles an hour out of the right hand of Dustin May, and the count is 0-1. He comes set, and he winds the 0-1 offering. A sweeper just low on the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. Joining from work tonight, let's go Cardinals. Cheers, Jeff. What do you do for a living, if I may ask? Now, come and winds the Dutchman, the 1-1 offering. Hit to the right side and just foul into that inlet on the right field side at Busch Stadium, and the count is 1-2. If Dustin May can stay at this pace, he's pitching nasty, absolutely. Jeff Coleman with the $1 super. Thank you so much, Jeff. It is both very much appreciated and helpful. I thank you very much. Now, May has his pitch. He winds. He deals. Swinging strike three. Down, Hacken goes low for the second out of the inning. So a strikeout Hacken there on the part of Nathaniel Lowe on that sweeper down and in towards the back foot. Not terribly dissimilar to the pitch that Alec Burleson struck out swinging on in the bottom of the first. Now here is Steer. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball outer third above the knees, and the count is 0-1. Spencer Steer, 242, 16 home runs, 40 RBIs in 96 games, a 748 OPS. Righty-righty matchup. He winds the 0-1. Strike, four-seam fastball outside corner below the belt, and the count is 0-2. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Steer, who steps out briefly. Nobody on, 2 out. It's an 0-2 count. May's ahead here. He winds. He deals. Called strike three. A sinker on the outside corner. For the third and final out of the inning. He gets the old backwards K. Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 1.5 innings of play, it is no score going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go to the chat. Okay. Well, so far, the Flying Dutchman seems to be on his game. Dare I say it. Due up for the Cardinals is going to be Ivan Herrera, Lars Nootbaar, and Mason Wynn. So 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. Flying Dutchman is nasty tonight. Now, Joe, were you the first one to come up with that? Because, Brother Joe, if you are the first person to have come up with that, I want to make sure you get all the credit in the world for doing so. Because Lord knows I've been using it enough, and I did not invent it. Yeah, Harold, he is looking good tonight, and it's a welcome change, no doubt. I think that's something we can all get behind. Okay, Brother Joe, then you get the credit. The Flying Dutchman on his game tonight, 2 scoreless innings so far. I'll buy that for $1. I do not doubt you, Brother Joe. Your word is good with me. So we await the bottom of the second inning. Rhett Lauder will be out there for his second frame of work. He got the Cardinals 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. But, hey, right now, this is a game not only do the Cardinals need to win, it's also a team that the Cardinals realistically need to beat. All right, we are back here for the bottom of the second inning. Due up is Herrera, Nootbaar, and Wynn. 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. Into the box is Herrera. It'll be a righty-righty matchup against Rhett Lauder, who comes wide. The first pitch. Strike, a sinker on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Realistically, Herrera could have challenged that and won. The 0-1 pitch. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Ivan Herrera currently hitting .241 on the year. With 11 home runs, 41 RBIs, a .737 OPS. The 1-1. Hit to the third base side. Picked up on a couple up by the third baseman. He throws to first in time to get Herrera going down the line. So Herrera bounces out 5-3 for the first out. And here comes Lars Nootbaar. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. And right now they're talking with the former Cardinal pitcher Anthony Reyes, showing us some World Series highlights from back in '06. Sure, we all remember him fondly. The first pitch, a four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Just need hitting with that pitching. You know it, Thurman. And as much as possible. It's a 1-0 count. Coming wide, the 1-0 pitch. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Now, Rhett Lauder is on the mound. He comes wide. The 2-0. Hit to the left side in the air. Moving over a couple of steps is the left fielder. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So a couple of quick outs here by Rhett Lauder, getting 4 and the 5 in the order down quite quickly. He's only thrown 15 pitches so far tonight. So that'll be 2 out. Now, here comes the righty-hitting shortstop for St. Louis, Mason Wynn. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out. Bottom of the second inning, no score. Be nice if they showed us the game. That'd be awesome. Now, Lauder runs the first pitch. Strike, sinker over the black of the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Oh, probably Pittsburgh, Thurman. Now, the 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Mason Wynn hitting .237 at present. 4 home runs, 42 RBIs. The 1-1. Strike, slider on the outside corner at the knees, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, that's a fair point, Harold. Now, the 1-2 pitch. A four-seam fastball upstairs and out of the zone. The count comes even at 2-2. Do I think the home run derby curse is affecting Walker? Well, I wouldn't say it's so much a curse as it is a mechanical issue, but possibly. The 2-2. Called strike 3. Slider on the outer third, thigh high for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 2 full innings of play, it is scoreless going to the top of the third inning. I'm Paul D., and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. You have my eternal gratitude for doing so if you feel I've earned it, and you are definitely helping the channel grow because of it. hitting that little like button of yours does a world of good. And if you like what you see in here and you're not already subscribed, well, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard. With that said, scoreless going to the top of the third inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. I think that's part of it, Joe. But the thing that's interesting about the whole home run derby thing is the mechanical issues of the swing, right? So is Jordan Walker a power hitter? Yes, in some ways, though I don't think of him exclusively as such. You know, when you're trying to put more of an uppercut into your swing and you're trying to pull everything as most home run derby hitters often do, you know, he wouldn't be the first person to experience it. And for me, I think it's a little too early to say one way or another if that's the case. However, I will say if indeed that does show itself to be the case, I will be the very unhappy bearer of the one to first guess his participation when it was first announced for that very reason. Not exactly something you want to be right about. So due up for the Reds in the top of the third inning is the catcher Stevenson, followed by Myers and Arroyo. 7, 8, 9 in the Reds order. Going out for his third frame is the Dutchman, who so far tonight, 2 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He's looking pretty good so far. Both he and Louder. Now we are back for the top of the third inning. No score. Now here comes the catcher Stevenson. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. He steps into the box, secures his helmet. May looks in. He begins his motion. The first pitch to Stevenson. Strike, sweeper on the inner third thigh high, and the count is 0-1. That was the 18th pitch so far by the Dutchman here in 2+ innings of work. Now, he comes one, the 0-1 offering. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. And once again, give a hand to Justin Beasley, who is doing a wonderful job manning the scorebug tonight. Cannot thank him enough. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Well upstairs and out of the zone with the 4-seam fastball. 97 miles an hour out of the right hand of May, and the count is 2-1. And the sliders are kryptonite for Walker. Yeah, he has trouble laying off of them. Now, the 2-1 offering. Hit to the left side and booted and way up into the air in the left field for a base hit. He managed to get Leather over there, did Blaze Jordan on the play. He couldn't bring it in. So a single to left by Stevenson, and the Reds have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the third inning. That was a tough play on the part of Blaze Jordan. It was a rough, short hop. He got Leather on it. It went deflecting basically 20 feet into the air. Picked up easily by Newbar and left, tossed back in. So a runner on first, nobody out. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me, Justin. We'll take care of that. Now, here's the righty Myers, righty-righty matchup. From the stretch for the first time is May. The first pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball, outer third thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Roger Baseman, Tucson checking in, 109 today. Our first citizen at Game Mike residing on the surface of the sun. The 0-1 pitch. Hit foul on the 4-seam fastball up and in behind home plate, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. So runner on first, nobody out here in the top of the third inning. They clearly have not ruled that play by Blaze Jordan an error. He comes from the stretch. He holds. The 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Myers for the first out of the inning. So Myers goes down hacking. Now here comes the second baseman, Arroyo. Edwin Arroyo, in 114 at-bats this year, is hitting .254, no home runs, 4 RBIs, an OPS of .599, 22 years old. Righty-lefty matchup. From the stretch is May. Runner leads off first. He shows bunt. He pulls back. The cutter is called a strike on the inside quarter below the belt. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. I'm glad you like it, Ike. I like Ike. Coming sets May. The 0-1. Hit to the left side and through the hole between short and third into left field for a 1-out base hit. So Arroyo manages to get the ball through the huge hole on the left side. As a left-handed hitter, they were very much shaded towards right, so he had nothing but real estate over there between second and third. Now the Reds have runners on first and second with 1 out. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, there is still no score. Back to the top of the order with Ellie De La Cruz, who lined out to shortstop his first at-bat. Righty-lefty matchup. Runners lead off first and second, 1 out. From the stretch is May. The first pitch of De La Cruz. A cutter upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Now, when it comes to De La Cruz, just the thing is to keep him off base. That guy can run for days. May sets at the stretch. The 1-0 offering. Foul down the third base side and out of play, and the count is 1-1. That was a sinker away, just getting a piece of that thing. Count is 1-1. Now, coming set at the belt is May. He's at the stretch. Runners lead. The 1-1. Strike, 4-seam fastball, inner third thigh high, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Dustin May is ahead of De La Cruz here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's see if he's able to put him away. Next pitch is going to be Dustin May's 30th this evening. Runners on first and second. He comes set at the belt. The 1-2. Swinging strike 3. Down hacking goes De La Cruz. For the second out of the inning, De La Cruz goes down hacking on that one for the second out of the inning. He's now 0 for 2 tonight. Now here comes the rookie Sal Stewart. He's 0 for 1. Runners on first and second with 2 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. No score. Righty-righty matchup. From the stretch is May. He sets at the belt. The first pitch to Sal Stewart. There's a fly ball into center field. Going over to his right is Church. He makes the catch in center field for the 3rd and final out of the inning. No runs on 2 hits, no walks, and 2 left on. After 2.5 innings of play, it is scoreless going to the bottom of the 3rd inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. Okay. Love the whistles. You and me both, Ron. You and me both. Getting a couple of strikeouts there, getting out of that jam. Not a bad job by the Dutchman. Watch the 5th inning, old memory. Good thing the Cardinals are a game and a half out of the wild card race. Yeah, amazingly, they're still very much in it. And are they capable of putting together a decent streak here? Yeah, of course. It all starts with 1 win at a time. But, for the most part, I'm not the guy who's going to get too freaked out or bent out of shape by bad stretches, right? That's just not my thing. It's a 162 affair, and I am remarkably cognizant of the fact that we are so lucky to be having the season we are at the moment. 2 up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 3rd inning is going to be Nate Church, Blaze Jordan, and Jimmy Crooks. 7, 8, 9 in the Cardinal order. Well, yeah, indeed, Ron. Well, I thought of you partly when I put that whole thing together there, because you keep saying, missing the beard, and well, there's the beard, still, as if it were the cover of the Saturday Evening Post, but a beard nonetheless. Did they sign anyone today? Let's take a look. Yeah, they signed the catcher Eduardo Mirabal. Yohel Pozo got claimed off of waivers by Baltimore as well. All right, so we're back here for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nate Church, Blaze Jordan, and Jimmy Crook, 7, 8, 9 in their order. Now, righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch, Nate Church. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway, 93 miles per hour out of the right hand of Rhett Lauder. And the count is 0-1. Lauder winds the 0-1 offering. A changeup down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. How do you call those whistles right every time, JB? Paul may need a new whistle after the game the way May is pitching. Let him wear it out. The 1-1. Hit foul down the third base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball down and in. The count is 1-2. Is actually a pretty full crowd on the Friday night down at Busch. I wonder if there's a promotional night going on that I am unaware of. Lauder winds the 1-2. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count comes even at 2-2. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you so much, Ron. Now, the 2-2 pitch. A changeup well out of the way and out of the zone, floating over the righty batter's box. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the third inning, no score. Yeah, the stands out there at Busch are a little bit fuller tonight. I haven't seen any tarps off yet. Here's the pitch. A sinker foul down the third base side and out of play, and the count remains 3-2. At the very least, they haven't shown them. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, Brother Joe. The more the better. On deck is Blaze Jordan. He comes wide. The 3-2 to Church. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the sinker, and the count remains 3-2. 49 likes, 141 people watching. How about that? Thank you all for joining me here tonight. Now, Lauder comes set. The 3-2 offering. Hit on up the middle. Picked up there on the back end to his right by De La Cruz. He throws to first just in time to get Nate Church going down the line for the first out of the inning. So Nate Church grounds out 6-3 for the first out. De La Cruz had to go a few steps to his right, get that ball on the ground on the back end, throw across his body to get Nate Church at first. So that'll be 1 out. Nobody on, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Now here's Blaze Jordan. Righty-righty matchup. Now the first pitch from Lauder. Foul tipped and off his body, and the count is 0-1. I need Church to start hitting. He needs to get in the groove ever since he's not in center. He gets moved around a little bit. He does a decent job in center field. His numbers have definitely fallen off, though, in the last 3 weeks. The 0-1. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Where did I go? I haven't gone anywhere. I'm right here. Now, the 1-1 pitch. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Blaze Jordan hitting .242, 1 home run, 18 RBIs in 29 games, a .613 OPS. The 2-1 from Lauder. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is now 3 balls and 1 strike. Now, what's going on? Now, he comes wide, the 3-1. Foul back on the sinker, up and in. The count is 3-2. He's back into the box. Nobody on with 1 out. The 3-2 pitch. And he fouls it off his body yet again. A repeat of the first strike, and the count is 3-2. Ah, there's the tarps off crowd. The growing increases with the drinking for those of appropriate age. Back into the box is Blaze Jordan. Now the 3-2 offering. Foul tipped and once again off his lower body on the sinker away. The count remains 3-2. That was the 35th pitch for Lauder this evening. The Beards are here indeed, Joe. Back onto the bump is Louder. He comes motion, the 3-2 offering. Foul down the first base side. Now to play on the sinker on the outer third, and the count remains 3-2. A nice long at-bat here by Blaze Jordan. If you ever want to talk about working the count, this is a perfect example of just that. Oh, boy. Just some activity out there in right center. The 3-2. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the sinker in, and the count remains 3-2. Yeah, he is working him good indeed, Harold. What comes of it, I cannot say. He's into the box. Now Louder wants to change up the baseball. And the home plate umpire is only too happy to oblige. He's back on the bump. He comes wind. The 3-2. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by the first baseman. Takes it to the bag himself for the second out of the inning. So Blaze Jordan, after an interminably long at-bat, grounds out to first for the second out. Cards fans in St. Louis, if you're at the stadium, what would you be eating? That's a really great question. Now, here is Jimmy Crooks, righty-lefty matchup. Jimmy's hitting 178. Nobody on with 2 out. The first pitch. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Jimmy Crooks, 178, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs in 30 games, a 606 OPS. It's a 1-0 count. Louder comes wide, the 1-0 offering. Foul down the third baseline and out of play on the four-seam fastball, up and away, and the count is 1-1. Is tomorrow my birthday? No, tomorrow is not my birthday, Jenny. But I appreciate the question. 40 pitches so far for Louder. Now the 1-1 pitch. A changeup bounces out in front of home plate, and the count is 2-1. Batters need to zone up the strike zone in order to be aggressively effective. Yeah. Infield defense playing quite back and shaded towards right with the lefty Jimmy Crooks. Now the 2-1. There's a fly ball out into center field. Going back is the center fielder, and he makes the catch on the track for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is scoreless going to the top of the fourth inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. Infielders seem to be a more difficult position to play than outfielders. They have to be faster reflexes and more agile. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. In some ways, I think that's certainly true. I mean, I would say center field is probably a more difficult position than, say, first base is, especially when you consider how many players have made the transition from other positions to first base in order to extend their career, make themselves healthier, have better offensive production. I would say first is definitely would be an exception in that regard. Third base, you need all the reflexes in the world, especially when you have so many right-handed hitters. Anthony, etching in the studio and listening to the game. What could be a better Friday night? Well, I'm glad you think of it that way, Anthony, and thank you so much for joining us here all the way from South Dakota. Okay. I assume Emo's Pizza is sold there. Yeah, I think it is. So, due up for the Reds in the top of the fourth inning is going to be Blade, Suarez, and Lau. 3, 4, and 5 in the Reds order. Going out for his fourth frame will be the Flying Dutchman Dustin May, who has had a pretty impressive first 3 innings so far. All right, looks like we're just about back for the top of the fourth inning. Something you all might find entertaining is outside of my window as I look out over the porch from the second story here are a handful of kids who are actually playing cricket out there. They've been out there most of the day. All right, righty-lefty matchup. Now here is Blade. He's 0 for 1. The first pitch from May. Swinging strike, four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 0-1. Here I sit in West County, and I'm watching kids play cricket out my window. Never thought I'd see it, but here we are. Infield defense shaded towards right with the lefty Blade. The 0-1 pitch. Hit to the right side and into right center field for a base hit. Picked up out in the gap there by Nate Church, who throws it on in, making a big turn at first, but staying right there is Blade, and he has a leadoff single here in the top of the fourth, and the Reds have a runner on first with nobody out. Redbird, across the league, a productive center fielder is probably the hardest to find, then catcher, which is unique in its own right. Absolutely. That and just catchers just get punished so much from playing defensively. Their offense undoubtedly suffers. Now here's Suarez. He's 0 for 1. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Strike. A sinker whispers over the black of the inside corner thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Eugenio Suarez 0 for 1 with the ground out. 208, 13 home runs, 37 RBIs in 72 games. May is at the stretch. He sets at the belt. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the cutter upstairs, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Suarez swung right underneath that one, and the count is 0-2. So a runner on first, nobody out. Top of the fourth inning, no score. Coming set is May. The 0-2 offering. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Back into the box is Suarez. Runner leads off first. May comes set at the belt. He holds. He deals. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the sinker away. 97 miles an hour out of the right hand of May. And the count is 1-2. Yes, indeed, Brother Joe. That was his 37th right there on that chop foul down the third base side. Wow, they're zoning in on the camera on Chaim Bloom. Man of the moment for the next 2 weeks. Coming sets May. He holds the 1-2. A sweeper just misses the outside corner. It was about under the belt. It's ruled a ball, and the count comes even at 2-2. So, May is doing his level best to try to put away Suarez here, who's fighting his way back in this at-bat. Coming sets May, the 2-2. A cutter away and out of the zone. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. That cutter came in at 93 miles an hour. And whatever the case is, you can tell Chaim Bloom does not know he's on camera. He's having a very animated discussion with his interlocutor there, up there in one of the office booths that's overlooking the field. The 3-2, swinging strike 3, down hacking goes Suarez for the first out of the inning. So Suarez goes down hacking. He is now 0 for 2 tonight. Now here comes Nathaniel Lau with a runner on first and 1 out. That was the 40th pitch for Dustin May. Righty-lefty matchup with a runner on first and 1 out. The first pitch. A cutter up and away and out of the zone. Just ruled the ball. The count is 1-0. Get the card some relief pitchers. We're going to be okay. That would be a good start. No doubt, Allen. Coming set is May. He holds the 1-0. Strike cutter on the outer third below the belt. The count is 1-1. Yeah, they're wearing a throwback STL hat because it's Hall of Fame induction weekend. They have the patch on the right side of the cap. Big block letters, STL, all in red against the navy background. He comes set, the 1-1. Hit to the right side, and it goes foul on the sweeper in. The count is 1-2. We have one starter that eats innings. We'll have to worry about nothing. I wish we don't get nobody fancy. Just get somebody that eats the innings. It'd be nice. That kind of depth is hard to come by sometimes. He sets the 1-2. A sinker just upstairs on the inner third. It's ruled a ball, and the count comes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So there's a runner on first with 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, no score. May is at the stretch with the runner on first. Infield defense shaded towards right with the lefty Lau. The 2-2. There's a fly ball into center field. Charging in is Nate Church. He makes the catch on the run for the 2nd out of the inning. So, a fly out 8 there by Lau for the 2nd out. Now here comes Spencer Steer, the right-hander. Steer is 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. Runner on first with 2 out. Coming set is May. The first pitch to Steer. A sinker inside, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Back onto the bump is May. May comes set. He holds. He throws over to first. Back in time is Blade. Count is 1-0. Now, coming set is May. The 1-0. A cutter upstairs on the outer third ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. Infield defense playing back and shaded towards left with the righty Steer. Burleson's holding the runner on at first, so there's a big hole on the right side. Coming set. The 2-0. A sinker inside out of the zone ruled a ball, and the count is 3 balls and no strikes. So Dustin May is a little frustrated with himself in terms of his control so far in this at-bat. That big red bushy beard. He comes set at the belt. The 3-0. Ball 4, so he puts 4 out of the zone in a row. That was a 4-seam fastball upstairs. He issues a free pass to Steer with 2 outs, and now the Reds have runners on first and second with 2 out here at the top of the 4th inning. Still no score here in this first of 3 in this weekend set. $40 likes to 100. Please hit that like button. Help Paul out. Thank you so much, Ron. Now, here's the catcher Stevenson. Righty-righty matchup. He's 1 for 1. The first pitch. A cutter upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. That's 5 straight out of the zone for Dustin May. Not usually his bag, but indeed what he's dealing with so far. Tyler Stevenson's hitting .247, 8 home runs, 27 RBIs, a .717 OPS in 77 games. Coming set at the belt is May. The 1-0. Strike, 4-seam fastball outside quarter at the knees, and the count is 1-1. Runners lead off first and second with 2 out. Coming set at the belt is May. Stevenson's in the box. The 1-1 offering. Swinging strike on the sweeper away, and the count is 1-2. So May is 1 strike away from getting out of this top of the 4th inning jam. We'll see where he goes to. And in order to try to get Stevenson, the runners lead off first and second with 2 outs. Stevenson's back into the box. Time is resumed. Runners lead. From the belt is May. He comes set at the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Hit on out there into right field. Going over is Jordan Walker, and it's in the gap, and it goes over the wall for a ground rule double. 1 run will score. At least 1 run will score. And that will give the Reds a 1-0 lead. The runner apparently will be staying there at third. So they have runners on second and third with 2 out, following the 2-out ground rule double to right center by Stevenson. And that looked to be a 4-seam fastball on the outer third, about thigh high. He basically split the outfielders there. It bounced on top of the track and then over into the Cardinal bullpen in right center field. It is a 1-0 Reds lead. Runners off second and third with 2 out. Now here is the righty Myers. He's 0 for 1. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. He shows bunt, pulls back. The sweeper is called a ball down and away, and the count is 1-0. Dane Myers 0 for 1 with a strikeout, 265, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs in 69 games. Setting at the belt is May. The 1-0 pitch. A cutter well outside and floating over the lefty batter's box. The count is 2-0. May's control here with 2 outs has become awfully suspect, to say the least. Infield defense playing back and shaded towards left with the righty Myers. Setting at the belt is May. He holds the 2-0 offering. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. So he's 1 ball away from loading him up there to face the 9-hitter, the second baseman Arroyo, who himself is 1 for 1 tonight. Coming set is May. The 3-0. Strike, 4-seam fastball inside quarter below the belt. The count is 3-1. This has been by far the most pitches he's thrown in any inning so far, 26. His highest was back in the third with 14. All the others have been less than 10. He comes set at the belt. The 3-1. Chopped out there toward short. Picked up on a hop there by Mason Wynn. He throws to first in time to get Myers going down the line, who is really angry about the fact that Mason Wynn throw beat him there, and that will do it. However, the Reds, they do push 1 across on the RBI ground rule double, and they have a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 1-0 Reds going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Okay. Well, at least he limits the damage there, I think is what one can say about that. But keeping it at 1, anytime you can survive giving up the straight numbers. It's the crooked numbers that get you into serious trouble. Now, due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 4th inning. They're back to the top of their order with J.J. Weatherall, Jordan Walker, and Alec Burleson. 1, 2, 3 in the order. And Rhett Lauder, despite the fact he has not pitched very well lately, and at least in his first 3 innings of work against the Cardinals, has looked very effective and very sharp. In fact, those 3 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts for Rhett Lauder. So the onus is on the offense. Is Ollie sleeping? Yeah, he's taking his mid-innings nap. Mike Shannon used to say, we need some tallies. That's one of the things that made him a classic. I think we all miss him a great deal. So we await the bottom of the 4th inning. Right now, the one thing you can say about Jordan Walker and his home run derby victory, whatever effect it may be having on his swing right now, is it certainly jettisoned him to the spotlight in Major League Baseball. Basically, in one home run derby, he's become a face of the franchise nationally. And it's a wonderful thing. All right, due up here is J.J. Weatherall. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch of J.J. Strike, sinker down Broadway, and the count is 0-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-0 Reds. 43 pitches for Lauder. Back onto the bump. On deck is Jordan Walker. Here's the pitch. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. One thing is for sure about J.J. Weatherall. I say this often. When he's not producing, the Cardinals offense ain't working. The 1-1. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. He gets back into the box. J.J. is 0 for 1 tonight. Now, coming winds Lauder, the 2-1. A sinker well up and away and out of the zone. The count goes to 3-1. That was not even close. No, J.J. Weatherall has an interesting swing. I've been trying to pinpoint it in terms of what it reminds me of. But there isn't, at least in my immediate recall, much I can think of except for something of a hybrid. I'll explain in a moment. Now the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball upstairs. So J.J. Weatherall works a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with nobody out. He's kind of a combination of like part Rod Carew / Robbie Cano and partially like Chase Utley, even though Chase Utley had more of a two-hand follow-through. It'll come to me eventually. Now, here comes Jordan Walker. He's 0 for 1. He struck out earlier. Runner on first, nobody out, bottom of the fourth inning. And it looks like there's some kind of delay of game here. Whether it's something on the field, I can't quite tell. Jordan Walker, however, is taking his sweet time. Well, Blue is back behind the plate, so whatever it is, it seems to be over now. There goes Stevenson. He's going into his crouch. So a runner on first, nobody out, bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 Reds. Now, coming set is Louder. Here's the pitch. A sinker inside, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Starting to get that uppercut. That is the worry sometimes. Louder's from the stretch. Runner on first, the 1-0. A sinker inside, well out of the zone to Jordan Walker. The count is 2-0. Jordan Alexander Walker hitting .290 with 22 home runs, 77 RBIs. The 2-0 pitch. Strike, slider down Broadway, and the count is 2-1. How about Jack Buck, announcer? Well, Joe is getting put into the Hall of Fame on Sunday. The 2-1. Hit to the left side. Picked up there by De La Cruz, who steps on second one. On to first. Just in time for the double play. So Jordan Walker grounds out into a 6-3 double play for the first and second outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. That was a very slowly developing ground ball. De La Cruz had to somewhat charge up on it, pick it up, stepped on second himself, and with that can of his, basically got Walker flying down the line to complete the double play. Now here comes Alec Burleson. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout earlier. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The first pitch from Louder. Slider strike on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. That was a very generous call on the outside corner. Had Burleson challenged it, he probably would have had it, but they do not want to jeopardize that one remaining ABS. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the changeup, down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Burleson, and the count is 0-2. Now, the 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Burleson for the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, no hits, 1 walk. Nobody left on. After 4 full innings of play, it is 1-0 Reds going to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. It's helping out this channel more than you could know, helping it get out there to more Cardinal fans who need help following this team every day. And I call almost every Cardinal game, underline almost. Life does get in the way. And this can definitely be of use, especially since you don't need 3 or 4 different subscriptions in order to follow it every day here on Game Mike. And if you're here for the first time or you've been back here multiple times and you like what you see and hear and you're not already subscribed, well, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 1-0 Reds going to the top of the 5th inning. Where did all the hitting go? That is a fine question, Justin. A very fine question. Unfortunately, right now, they're making Rhett Lauder look like Cy Young, which, has not happened that often this year. And their hitting woes at Busch Stadium are well noted. Indeed he did. Rod Carew is one of those guys who seem to always have a nose for the gaps in the outfield. He'd go the other way, he'd pull it. But he's a completely different era of hitter, albeit one that I would very much like to see come back. Because there's one way you can beat the shift, not hitting into it. But baseball seems to have made up on its mind of it for now, and they're not listening to me or us. All right, we're back here for the top of the fifth inning. 1-0 Reds. Due up is Arroyo, De La Cruz, and Stewart. The first pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball inside quarter at the knees. The count is no balls and one strike. Edwin Arroyo is 1 for 1 with a single. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the fifth inning. Coming winds the Dutchman. The 0-1 offering. A changeup away and over the righty batter's box. The count is 1-1. Now May has his pitch. He comes motion. The 1-1 offering. Hit on out there in the right field. Going back a couple of steps is Jordan Walker. He's in front of the track. He makes the catch in front of the Phillips 66 sign in right center for the first out of the inning. Oh. Interesting. Warlord. I'm just going to call you Warlord. I've noticed in a lot of Red games this season that they will score early, but if the starting pitcher wears out, the other team does tend to rack up runs in the later innings. Interesting. Thank you, Warlord. Now the first pitch to De La Cruz. Strike, sweeper on the inner third at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Nobody on with one out. Top of the fifth inning. 1-0 Reds. There is Tito Francona at the top step of the dugout. Everybody loves Tito. Now the 0-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball well upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-1 to De La Cruz. De La Cruz is 0 for 2 tonight with a lineout and a strikeout. He's hitting .274, 17 home runs, 46 RBIs, and .850 OPS. Spent a little bit of time on the IL earlier this year. Common winds the Dutchman, the 1-1. Hit to the right side and past a diving Weatherholt into right field for a one-out base hit. So De La Cruz gives the Reds a runner on first with one out here in the top of the fifth inning. Now this is going to be quite a challenge for one Jimmy Crooks, because De La Cruz knows how to run like the wind. Now here's Sal Stewart. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Runner on first. Common sets May. De La Cruz takes a big old lead off first. Here's the pitch. A curveball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. 84 miles an hour on that curveball. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is May. The 1-0. Fouled straight back on the sinker in. Right off the trademark there of Sal Stewart's bat. The count is 1-1. Winning uses all fields to hit where the D is not covering. Hey, you're preaching to the choir, Edgar. Believe me, I am all about that. I just wish professional baseball was too. De La Cruz leads off first. Coming set is May. He holds. He throws over to first. Back in time is De La Cruz. And the count remains 1-1. New manager, please. This I hear often. Coming set is May. He holds. The 1-1. A four-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. One thing is for sure, when De La Cruz gets on base, he does a fantastic job of taking a lot of the attention of the pitcher away from the at-bat. especially when he's taking leads that are quite as big as the one he's taking now. The 2-1, fouled straight back on the sweeper on the inner third, about thigh high, and the count comes even at 2-2. Really just an example of how, a true exemplar in terms of speed and base running can really do all sorts of things to put the opposing team into total haywire mode. Runner leads. Stepping off the rubber there is Dustin May, so we wait a little longer for the 2-2. Now, coming set is May. Runner leads off first. The 2-2, there he goes. Here's the throw, here's the play, and he is ruled safe. The ball actually gets away from Mason Wynn there. The throw is offline towards the right field side of second base, so De La Cruz steals the base easily. The pitch is called a ball, so there's a runner on second with a full count and 1 out. And that pitch was well up and in, and it was just a bad throw by Jimmy Crooks. In the case of Mason Wynn, he did everything and then some to make sure that ball didn't go at least past him. So runner on second with 1 out. It's a full count. Coming set is May. The 3-2. Check swing on the cutter down and away. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire. And that'll be the second out of the inning. So Sal Stewart gets punched out there on the check swing. Punched out there by the first base umpire. He is not enamored with the call, but how could you blame him? He didn't think he swung. He definitely did. That was the 70th pitch for May. Now here is the lefty Blade, righty-lefty matchup. He's 1 for 2. The first pitch, swinging strike on the changeup down and in. Swing over the top of that one was Blade, and the count is 0-1. I know you wrote something there, Eric Boyce, and I will get to it shortly. No question. Coming set is May, the 0-1. A sinker inside and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Yeah, there's nothing like May throwing to Blade. Who would have thunk? Now, coming set is May. The 1-1 to Blade. A changeup down and in the dirt. The count is 2-1. Hey, Paul D, I have good news. So my third sister is now engaged to her boyfriend, and yesterday they were in Cancun. Oh, congratulations to them, Eric. I'm sure you're very happy to have a new member of your family. Now, coming set. The 2-1. Strike, sweeper down Broadway, and the count comes even at 2-2. Well, soon to be a new member of your family, engaged. I always assume this all goes well. So congratulations to them. Oh, good evening to you, Sam. How are you? Stepping off the rubber real quick is May. He gets to start over. He's trying to get on the same page as Jimmy Crooks. It's a 2-2 count to J.J. Blade. Runner leads off second with 2 out. Coming set at the belt is May. The 2-2 offering. Swinging strike 3. Down hacking goes Blade. For the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is 1-0 Reds here in the first of 3 on this weekend set at Busch against the Reds. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. Well, you got to give credit to Dustin May there. You know, you get Ellie De La Cruz on, and you manage to strand him at second. You know, you manage to keep him in place mostly. He'd steal second. I grant you this. But, hey, you know what? Being able to neutralize that very effective, that very real weapon that the Reds possess there in Ellie De La Cruz, it's not a bad thing. I'll tell you that. Due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th inning is Herrera, Nootbaar, and Wynn. So 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. They'll be going up once again for Rhett Lauder, who'll be out for his 5th frame of work. So far, 4 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. So right now, Rhett Lauder is throwing the no-no. Let's see if they can't go and break that up. I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Friday night here with me on Game Mike. It's always a pleasure spending these evenings with all of you wonderful folks here on Game Mike in our modest portion of Redbird Nation. Oh, well, as well they should, Brother Joe. As well they should. All right, stepping up to the plate is Ivan Herrera. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. He's 0 for 1. Now, the first pitch from Lauder. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. So 1-0 Reds here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They pick that one up in the top of the 4th. The 1-0. Strike, change up on the outer third, just below the knees. The count is 1-1. A rather generous strike zone tonight for the home plate umpire. It's already resulted in a couple ABS challenges. The 1-1 pitch, hit down the first base side and out of play. Picked up on a loop, on a little looping line there by Stubby Clapp, first base coach, and the count is 1-2. So Lauder's ahead in the count, 1-2 on Herrera. And the 1-2 offering. A slider away and over the lefty batter's box. The count comes even at 2-2. Well, one thing is for certain is that the Cardinals do need base runners. And they need to take a page out of Blaze Jordan's last at-bat. Work up that pitch count. Next one's going to be the 59th for Lauder. The 2-2. And he beans Ivan Herrera right on the left forearm. And that is the first time I believe he has been beaned since the 4th of July. Oh, goodness gracious. He is not looking terribly comfortable there. And really, who can blame him? He'll go and take his base. So I'll have to update the ticker. It had been 14 or 15 games since the last time he was plunked. So I'm going to try and update that in the half inning there. Remember, workplace safety, folks. First time in 14 or 15 games since the 4th of July was Ivan Herrera beaned. So a runner on first with nobody out following the leadoff hit by pitch. Now here comes Lars Nootbaar. Training staff has obviously taken a look at him. Alrighty. Justin Beasley doing Justin Beasley things. So they're just taking a moment here. In fact, they're talking with Jordan Walker's parents. All right, we're back to the action. Runner on first. From the stretch is Lauder. Righty-lefty matchup. Nootbaar's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. There goes the runner. Here's the throw. Here's the play. And he is safe at second. So a stolen base by Ivan Herrera. Not something he does with a great deal of frequency. And that'll put a runner on second with nobody out. The pitch is ruled a strike, and the count is 0-1. And now, the Cardinals have a runner in scoring position. Braylon Beasley. I was told that the Birds needed a donation to win. Well, thank you so much, Braylon, with the $5 super. It's both very much appreciated and helpful. Thank you, Braylon. From the stretch is Lauder. It's an 0-1 count to Nootbaar. Here's the pitch. Hit down the left field line, giving chase to the left fielder in the corner. He's underneath it. He makes the catch. And that'll be the first out. Tagging from second to third is Ivan Herrera, so he moves up 90 feet. So a sacrifice fly by Lars Nootbaar on the fly ball deep to left. And now the Cardinals have a runner on third with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Ivan Herrera, after getting beamed on the funny bone, that's exactly what happened there when I look at it on replay, proceeds to go and steal a base and then successfully tag up from second to third on the deep fly ball to left off the bat of Nootbaar. And now the Cardinals have a runner on third with one out. Now here comes Mason Wynn. Here's the pitch. Strike, a sinker, and the count is 0-1. Now this is one of those times when ABC baseball makes sense. A decent fly ball would do a long way. The 0-1, swinging strike on the slider, down and away. Swinging over the top of that one was Mason Wynn. The count is 0-2. Mason's 0-1 with a strikeout. He too has been having some issues. The infield defense for the Reds is playing up on the grass and largely even with the bag. So on a ground ball to right to them, they would have an opportunity to throw home and try to get the tag on Herrera. The 0-2. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Lauder's back onto the bump. He comes set above the belt. The 1-2. Hit to the left side. Picked up there by De La Cruz. Right to him. He throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. So the deep infield defense in works for Tito Francona and the Reds that time. The ground ball was right to Ellie De La Cruz. He makes the easy throw to first for the second out. Staying right there at third, of course, is Ivan Herrera. And now the Cardinals have a runner on third with two out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Now here is Nate Church. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. 0-1 is Church, the first pitch. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. 79 likes, 211 people watching. Come on, we're close. Well, thank you, Brother Joe. Runner leads off third with two out. The 1-0 pitch. A sinker downstairs ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. 0-1 with the ground. That is Nate Church. 228, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs in 84 games. Next pitch is going to be the 68th for Lauder. Infield defense playing back on the right side with the third baseman even with the bag at third. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup away, and the count is 2-1. Lauder looks in. He comes set. The 2-1. A four-seam fastball well inside and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. So Rhett Lauder has these really long, curvy brown locks. He looks like he's a member of the Three Musketeers or a Caribbean pirate. It's actually pretty nuts. You put the right hat on him, it would work. The 3-1. Ball four on the changeup, down and in. So Nate Church works a two-out walk, and the Cardinals have runners on first and third with two out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It is a 1-0 Reds lead. Oh, Brother Joe has dug his heels in. I'm all for it. I'm here for it, Brother Joe. Now here is Blaze Jordan. 70 pitches for Lauder. Runners on first and third. Blaze is 0-1, grounded out to first in his last at-bat. Here's the pitch. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Had a long at-bat last time against Lauder. Coming set is Lauder. The 1-0. Swinging strike on the slider down and away, and the count is 1-1. Warface, yes. Oh, yeah. That's right, Eric Yates. Let's see the Warface. Now, the 1-1. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the slider in. The count is 1-2. Whitey Herzog would force you to bunt. Yeah. When you look at that Busch Stadium of that 80s era, especially with the AstroTurf, the game was just so fast inherently. The 1-2. There's a fly ball into left center field. Going back is Blade, and it falls in, and it goes up against the top of the wall. 1 run will score. Coming home is Nate Church. 2 runs will score, and that will give the Cardinals a 2-1 lead on the 2 RBI, 2-out double by Blaze Jordan. A 2-alarm double by Blaze, and that will give the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. And that looked to be quite possibly a flat slider down Broadway, about at the knees. Blaze Jordan deposited it on the top of the warning track in left center field. And it looks like the top step of the Cardinal dugout has assumed that Norway rowing thing they were doing in the World Cup. Now here's Jimmy Crooks. Here's the pitch. A changeup downstairs, and the count is 1-0. So a runner on second with 2 out. 2 already in following the 2 RBI double by Blaze Jordan. He leads off second. It's a 2-1 Cardinal lead. Righty-lefty matchup. The 1-0 to Crooks. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by the second baseman. He throws to first in time for the third and final out of the inning. But not before the Redbirds push 2 across, and they take a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It is a 2-1 Cardinal lead. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, and you haven't already done so, please do leave a like if you feel I've earned it. It's helping this channel continue to grow, and growing beautifully it has because of you, and I cannot thank you all enough for that. On top of that, it's getting it out to more Redbirds fans to make it easier to follow the Cardinals day in and day out. I call almost, underline almost, every Cardinal game. And if it's your first time here, or you've been back multiple times and you haven't done so already and you like what you see and hear, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, 2-1 Cardinals going to the top of the 6th inning. Me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. All right. Well, that is some emoji there, Roger. Is that a bulldog face? I think that's a bulldog face. Hopefully they're rowing upstream. Well, that will certainly get them some exercise. No question. Yeah, it is a great community, Brother Joe. And I'm so glad you're a part of it. So, due up for the Reds in the top of the 6th inning is going to be Suarez, Lau, and Steer. 4, 5, and 6 in the Reds order. So far tonight, Dustin May, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. He has thrown 75 pitches so far. 50 of them have been strikes. So credit to the Dutchman. All right, we're back here for the top of the 6th inning. 2-1 Cardinals following that RBI double. 2 RBI double by Blaze Jordan. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch of Suarez. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Now, May comes one. The 1-0 offering. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Yeah, they were doing the rowing the boat bit. It's nice to see. 77 pitches here for May. He looks into Jimmy Crooks, who sets up outside. Now the 2-0 offering. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning. 2-1 Cardinals. It's a 3-0 count to Suarez, who's 0 for 2. Come and winds the Dutchman. He deals. Hit on out there in the left center field and in for a base hit. So Suarez works himself a lead-off single to left center, and the Reds have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. He earned it. He certainly earned it. Now, here is the DH Lau. Nate Lau, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a foul out. 242, 12 home runs, 31 RBIs in 74 games. Righty-lefty matchup. Coming set is May from the stretch. Runner leads off first. Here's the pitch. Hit to the right side and into center field for a base hit. Staying right there at second is Suarez. And now, following consecutive signals, the Reds have runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. So Dustin May has himself in a legit jam here. That was his 80th pitch of the evening. I have not yet seen any action down in the Cardinal bullpen, but that's not altogether a bad thing. And here comes the righty Steer. Steer is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Righty-righty matchup from the stretch is May. First pitch. He popped him up. Giving chase there is Jimmy Crooks towards the Cardinal dugout. And it goes about a row deep. And the count is 0-1. So this is one of those moments in the game where Dustin May desperately needs to bear down. He's done it a couple of times before. But as we get into the later innings, the importance is self-evident. Runners lead off first and second, nobody out. May comes set at the stretch. He sits at the belt. The 0-1. He shows bunt, and he bunts it down third base, and he picks it up on a line, does May. Rushing off of the mound, manages to get it on the fly for the first out of the inning. Oh, boy. Dustin May. What a play. He goes through the follow-through. He sees him put down the bunt. He pops up the bunt down the third baseline, but in full stride, May manages to catch the thing on the fly for the first out of the inning. Oh, what a nice play and nifty play there by Dustin May. The Dutchman showing his defense. That's the first out. Now, here is the catcher, Stevenson. He's 2 for 2. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Strike, sweeper, whispers over the black of the outside corner at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Runners on first and second. They lead with 1 out. Coming set is May at the stretch. He sets at the belt. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball upstairs. Stevenson can't catch up with the Dutchman's cheddar, and the count is 0-2. Time was granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Stevenson, who slowly gets back into the box. Runners lead off first and second. It's an 0-2 count. May comes set at the belt. The 0-2. And he beans Stevenson on the back with a sweeper. So a hit by pitch there loads the bases with 1 out. That was most certainly not intentional. It was on a sweeper. Crooks was setting up away. It simply got away from May. Not exactly great timing. Hit him on the upper portion of the triceps near the deltoids of the left arm. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out. Now here comes the center fielder, Myers, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout himself. Bases loaded, 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 2-1 Cardinals. An inflection point in this game, no doubt. There's nowhere to put Myers. Righty-righty matchup, 85 pitches for May. The first pitch. And he popped him up straight in the infield. Who's going to get it? Burleson calls for it. He makes the catch in the infield, in the grass, for the second out of the inning. So on that four-seamer upstairs, Myers lightly pops it up to the center of the diamond, caught there by Burleson for the second out. Now, here comes the 9-hitter, the second baseman, Arroyo. Arroyo is 1 for 2 tonight. The 22-year-old left-handed hitting second baseman. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Arroyo. A cutter up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Came in at 94 miles an hour, did that cutter. Edwin Arroyo, 1 for 2 with the single. Now, May comes set at the belt. The 1-0 pitch. Hit foul down the third base line and out of play on the curveball away, and the count is 1-1. Nifty, haven't heard that word since Dennis the Menace. I'm glad I could bring you back, Thurman. Infield playing back and shaded towards right with the lefty Arroyo at the plate. Bases loaded. 1-1 count. The 1-1 pitch. And he hit it on out there to left center field. Underneath it is Nate Church calling for it. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So, the Reds strand the bases loaded. They can't push any across. And after 5.5 innings of play, it is a 2-1 Redbird lead going to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. All right. Yeah, hell of a job to get out of that, Dutchman. Absolutely. Bases loaded, 1 out. He gets the pop out from Myers, the fly out from Arroyo. It's not a bad job. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned. You'll take it. You'll take it. 2 up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 6th inning is going to be J.J. Wetherholt, followed by Jordan Alexander Walker and Alec Burleson. So 1, 2, and 3 in the Cardinal order. God bless church. Yeah, definitely. Time to get some more runs, boys. Well, this is the right place to start. No, Dustin May has just been so up and down. No, last time against Arizona, he was having trouble getting out of his own way. Tonight, he's been highly effective. What can we say? Hey, it's C. John. Howdy, Paulie D. JB, TGIF. I got the Reds girlfriend listening in tonight. Well, she's welcome here too. Of course. A friend of yours, or in this case, a girlfriend of yours, C. John, is a friend of ours. Homer now. Well, I mean, that'd be nice. Right now, at the moment, I would just like to see the Cardinals get some base runners in that they can knock. Blaze Jordan, responsible for both runs. He's actually had a pretty good night. In his first at-bat, that was a really long at-bat against Louder. Now, here is J.J. Wetherholt. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. He walked in his last at-bat. We have a pitching change. The lefty Ferguson is in for the Reds. Here's the first pitch. A sinker away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. The lefty Caleb Ferguson, the 30-year-old left-hander. 21 games, he's 1-0 with a 3.98 ERA and 20 in the third innings pitched. The 1-0. Strike, sinker down Broadway below the belt. The count is 1-1. He has amassed 20 strikeouts in that span. He has a whip of 1.57. He comes set at the letters. The 1-1 to JJ. A cutter away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. It makes sense that 2 of the first 3 batters he would face here are left-handed, so no surprise that Tito went this way. Now, the 2-1 offering. A sinker up and away and out of the zone, ruled a ball. The count is 3-1. I hope so, Justin, one day. The 3-1. Foul down the third baseline and out of play on the sinker, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the 6th inning. 2-1 Cardinals over the Reds here in the first of 3 in this weekend set. He comes set at the letters. The 3-2. Ball 4 on the sinker up and away. So J.J. Wetherholt works his second walk of the night and his second leadoff walk of the night. And that gives the Cardinals a runner on first with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Oh, the score bug? I haven't forgotten that. Justin Beasley's in charge of that, and he does a great job. He does a great job. All right, here's Jordan Walker. He's 0 for 2. Lefty-righty matchup against the lefty Ferguson. Here's the pitch. A slurve in the dirt, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Runner leads off first. Coming set at the letters is Ferguson, the 1-0. And he hits it foul in foul territory towards the stands near the Cardinal dugout. Underneath it is the first baseman who catches it for the first out of the inning. So Jordan Walker fouls out to the right of first for the first out. Now here is Alec Burleson. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts tonight against Rhett Louder. I'm sure he's glad to see him out of the game. Runner on first with 1 out. Lefty-lefty matchup. Ferguson comes set at the letters. He holds the first pitch. A four-seam fastball misses on the outside corner, ruled the ball. The count is 1-0. 6 likes away from 100. Let's hit that like button. Cheers, Ron Lyle. Cheers. Now Ferguson comes set. The 1-0. A cutter upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. I bet you're getting pumped for camp. I know I am. Now, Ferguson some set, the 2-0. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 2-1. And howdy to you too, Jimmy. Now, coming set is Ferguson. The 2-1. Swinging strike on the sinker on the outer third thigh high, and the count is 2-2. On deck is Ivan Herrera. He is the cleanup hitter tonight, remember. Runner leads off first, the 2-2. Fouled back on the sinker in off the trademark of Burleson. The count remains 2-2. Back onto the bump is Ferguson. 13 pitches so far for him. Now Ferguson comes set. He deals. A four-seam fastball outside gets away from the catcher. Stevenson moving up 90 feet is J.J. Weatherholt. So he is on second with 1 out. The pitch is obviously a ball, so it's a full count. So the Cardinals have a runner on second with 1 out. It's a full count here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They have a 2-1 lead over the Reds. Back into the box is Alec Burleson. He has a runner in scoring position with less than 2 out. Weatherholt leads off second. Coming set is Ferguson, the 3-2. Chop foul down the first base side, now to play on the sinker. The count remains 3-2 to Alec Burleson. He gets back into the box. So a runner on second there on what I can only imagine is probably a wild pitch. We'll see how they score it. Now, coming sets Ferguson. He deals. Hit to the right side, picked up there by the second baseman to his left. He throws to first in time to get Burleson. Moving up 90 feet from second to third is Weatherholt. And the Cardinals have a runner on third with 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here comes Ivan Herrera. In his last at-bat, he got plunked for the first time in, I think, 14 or 15 games. The first time since the 4th of July. And here comes Tito Francona. They're going to the pen. So we have ourselves a pitching change. Garcia is coming in for Tito Francona. And I will give you his number shortly. So we have ourselves a pitching change, folks. Runner on third with 2 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Cardinals. Ivan Herrera making his next at-bat after being freshly plunked in his previous one. It feels like forever. In reality, it's only been about 2 weeks. So, while we have a break here, thank you all so much for joining me here tonight on Game Mike. This has been a good, tight game here. Going quickly, no doubt. But anytime you have rather effective pitching, that does seem to be the way of things. So did everybody have a good week? Did you enjoy your week? I hope you did. With the exception of yesterday afternoon, I personally have had a wonderful week. Herrera hit and Newt Bar candy bar. Indeed. I wonder if Newt Bar will last beyond the deadline. At this point, he may very well, debatably be their most valuable piece to trade. But we'll see. We'll see. going tomorrow for the Cardinals for the 6:15 start against the Reds is going to be Andre Palante. And for the most part this year, he has been something worth watching. I don't follow you, Brother Joe. Oh, now the first pitch from the righty Garcia. A four-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Julian Garcia, the 31-year-old right-hander, in 9 games is 0-2 with a 3.21 ERA. Righty-righty matchup. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner at the knees. The count is 1-1. A 3.21 ERA in 14 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 0.93. Garcia steps off the rubber, picks up the rosin bag, trying to get a little better grip on that baseball. Yeah, it hasn't been too bad here. I agree. Now the 1-1. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball in the inner third, and the count is 1-2 to Ivan Herrera. Runner on third with 2 out, bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Cardinals. Undoubtedly, Herrera is looking to connect on something here. Coming set is Garcia. The 1-2. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Soko Mo. How's it going, Soko Mo? Ooh, that's rough, Justin. That's rough. Now, the 2-2. Called strike 3. A sweeper on the inside quarter thigh high for the third and final out of the inning. No runs. No hits. 1 walk. 1 left on. After 6 full innings of play, it is 2-1 Cardinals going to the top of the 7th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. You hitting that little like button of yours does this channel a world of good if you feel I've earned it. In addition to the fact it helps push it out to more Cardinal fans who need all the help they can get trying to follow the Cards each and every day without 3 or 4 different subscriptions. And if you're not already subscribed and you're enjoying yourself, well, just hit that subscribe button and come on back. Be great to have you. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 2-1 Cardinals going to the top of the 7th inning. Due up for the Reds in the top of the 7th is Eli De La Cruz, Sal Stewart, and J.J. Bleday. 1, 2, and 3 in the Reds order. Now, let's see here. Is it possible that Dustin May could come out for an additional inning of work? Maybe. He has 89 pitches so far. 59 of them have been strikes. Oh, boy. See. That's the last thing we need is a loss of power on the device that I'm actually following this game on. Don't need that. Don't need that for a second. All right. So we are back here in the top of the 7th inning, and it appears that George Soriano is in. A four-seam fastball ruled a ball. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. So, Soriano's in relief for Dustin May, who did a great job, I gotta say. The 1-0 to De La Cruz, hit to the right side, picked up on the line there for the first out by J.J. Weatherall for the first out of the inning. So, Eli De La Cruz lines out 4 for the first out. A very nice stab there on the part of Weatherall for the first out of the inning. Now, here is Sal Stewart. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Ground out, line out, strikeout, swinging. Come and set Soriano, righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. A slider inside, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Soriano is back onto the bump. He comes set at the belt. The 1-0 offering. Hit on out there into left field, charging in his Dupar. He has to play it on the hop. So a one-out single to left by Sal Stewart. And the Reds have a runner on first with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Interesting. Opponent average, righties are hitting .253 against Soriano this year, whereas left-handers are hitting .140. That's quite a disparity between the two. Now here is the lefty, J.J. Bleday. He's 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. Hit foul down the first base side. Now to play on the changeup in. The count is 0-1. So runner on first with 1 out. It's an 0-1 count. Bleday walks slowly back into the box. The runner, he leads off first. Soriano comes set at the belt. The 0-1. Hit foul down the right field line and out of play, slicing into the stands. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. So Soriano is ahead of Bleday here, 0-2, with the runner on first following that single to left by Sal Stewart. Soriano comes set. Crook sets on the outside corner. The 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Bleday for the second out of the inning. You whistle enthusiasts, you got one right there. Guten Morgen, guten Nachmittag, guten Nacht. Now here is Eugenio Suarez. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first with 2 out, top of the 7th inning. The first pitch from Soriano. A 4-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Now, coming set is Soriano. The 1-0. There's a fly ball to left field. Going back is Dupar, looking up, and it is long gone. A 2-run home run to left for Eugenio Suarez, and that will give the Reds a 3-2 lead here in the top of the 7th inning. And that was an absolute no-doubter. That thing was beyond the bullpen in left there, the visiting bullpen, to the very top of the bleachers behind that bullpen. That could have easily gone 430 feet. And it looked like it was a flat slider on the outer third about belt high. Oh boy, that was an absolute no-doubter. No, it was even beyond the bleachers in left field above the bullpen out there. So it's a 3-2 Reds lead. So the remit for the Cardinals is clear. Now here's the lefty Lau. He's 1 for 3. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. 4-seam fastball. Fouled back. And the count is 0-1. They bloop and blasted us. They sure did. And welcome back, CCSY. Or CC. Now Soriano sets. The 0-1 to Lau. Strike, 4-seam fastball, outer third thigh high, and the count is 0-2. Soriano sets at the belt. The 0-2. A changeup down and in, actually gets past Crooks there. It's more of a wild pitch than a pass ball in all fairness, but nobody on, nothing to say there. Nathaniel Lau, 1 for 3 with a single, 245, 12 home runs, 31 RBIs in 74 games, a 799 OPS for Lau. Nobody on with 2 out, 2 already in here for the Reds. It's a 3-2 Reds lead. The 1-2, hit to the left side and into left center field for a base hit. Picked up out there in left center by Nate Church, and so Lau has himself a 2-out single to left center for the Reds, and they have a runner on first with 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. 2 already in. Now, here is the righty steer. The first pitch. Strike, sinker on the outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Righty-righty matchup with the righty steer against the righty Soriano. Runner leads off first. He sets the 0-1. Hit to the left side, picked up there by Blaze Jordan. He throws the second for the force for the third and final out of the inning. So, 2 runs on 3 hits, no walks, 1 left on. After 6.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Reds going into 7th inning stretch time and the bottom of the 7th inning at Busch Stadium. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Reds going to the bottom of the 7th. Let's go to the chat. Okay. Well, that was a bit deflating, no doubt. Due up for the Cardinals is Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, and Nate Church. So 5, 6, and 7 in the Cardinal order. They need runs. They need base runners, but especially runs. I mean, it's a 1-run game. It can be done. But all the same, I remember the Reds and Cards fight. That was epic. It was never the same between those two teams, those 2 iterations of these teams after that. After that, it was a straight-up blood feud, and I was there for it. I was there for it. Not at the ballpark, but very much there for the blood sport rivalry. My wife still talks about that. All right, we're back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. Nootbaar, Wynn, and Church for the Cardinals. And they will be facing the reliever Burke, the left-hander, 29 years old. In 51 games, he's 3-4 with a 2.79 ERA. In 48 and a third innings pitched, 40 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.37. So right now, they need base runners more than anything. And it makes plenty of sense here that he would bring in the left-hander with Nootbaar and Church due up in these first 3. Lefty-lefty matchup against Nootbaar. He's 0 for 2. The first pitch, a 4-seam fastball well outside and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Hey, 105 likes. Thank you so much, everybody. Now, the 1-0. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Lars Nootbaar's hitting 253 home runs, 15 RBIs in 38 games, a 732 OPS. Coming set is Burke. The 2-0. Hit to the right side, picked up there by the first baseman, tosses to the pitcher covering, beats Nootbaar to the bag for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. So a bounce out there for Lars Nootbaar makes the first out 3-1. Now here comes Mason Wynn. Mason is 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup with the lefty Nate Church on deck. Now coming set is Burke. The first pitch to Wynn. Strike, 4-seam fastball inside corner below the belt. The count is 0-1. Now he comes set. The pitch. There's a fly ball into shallow center field. Coming in is the center fielder. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Now, we have a pinch hitter here, which I think was probably the way he was going to go. We have Nelson Velasquez. He's pinch hitting for Nate Church here to avoid the lefty-righty matchup. And given the power that Velasquez does possess, he could tie the game with one swing of the bat. Now, the likelihood of him doing that, I cannot say, but that is most certainly the thinking. So, nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the 7th inning. 3-2 Reds here. Following that 2-run home run to left by Suarez, Nelson Velasquez is hitting .219, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs in part-time duty. Been here since the end of May. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch from Burke is a ball. The count is 1-0. Now, Burke comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup on the outside corner, and the count is 1-1 to Nelson Velasquez. The pinch hitter here for Nate Church. So presumably, it'll be some combination of Jose Fermin and Lars Nootbaar covering either center and left, depending on how Marmol wants to pull it. The 1-1 pitch. Swinging on the half swing, a strike on the four-seam fastball up, and the count is 1-2 strikes. So nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 1-2 count. The lefty Burke against the pinch hitter Velasquez for Church. He comes set. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball inner third thigh high for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 7 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Reds going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Well, who all here are going for Cards besides me? Quite a few people here are rooting for the Cardinals, I think it's fair to say, Alan. All right. So due up for the Reds in the top of the 8th inning is Stevenson, Myers, and Arroyo. 7, 8, 9 in the Cincinnati order. All right. And let's see where the Cardinals are going with their pitching. They're still showing Soriano is in the game. The likelihood of that still being the case, I don't think it's terribly likely, but stranger things have happened. Stevenson tonight is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Myers is 0 for 3 with a strikeout, and Arroyo is 1 for 3. So those are your due up. All righty. So we await the top of the 8th inning. Should be back there in just a moment. One can only hope. Oh, Stanek. Oh, boy. Okay, yeah. Ryan Stanek, the 34-year-old right-hander, in 43 games this year, 2-2 with a 4.70 ERA and 38 1/3 innings pitched, 41 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.51. He is on the mound for the Redbirds here. He is going to face Stevenson, Myers, and Arroyo. Gave you the numbers on Ryan Stanek, such as they are, a moment ago. Now, the first pitch is Stevenson. Strike. Slider on the outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. Stevenson 2 for 2 with the RBI. 3-2 Reds, top of the 8th inning. Stanek comes set at the Birds, the 0-1. A splitter bounces out in front of home plate. The count is 1-1. Back into the box is Stevenson. It's a 1-1 count. Setting at the Birds is Stanek. The 1-1. Hit foul behind home plate on the splitter away. The count is 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning. Stanek is back onto the bump. Back into the box is Stevenson. Setting at the Birds is Stanek. The 1-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Stevenson for the first out of the inning. So Ryan Stanek comes in, gets a strikeout right away. Now here comes the center fielder, the right-handed hitting Myers. Righty-righty matchup here against Stanek. The first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway. The count is 0-1. Stanek, he comes set at the Birds. The 0-1. And did it get him or the bat? And the home plate umpire is pointing Myers down towards first base. I thought it got the very bottom of his bat on the nub. Apparently not. So Myers will go and take first base on the hit by pitch by Stanek. And it looks like Ollie Marmol wants to have somebody take a second look at that. Let's see here on replay. It might have gotten a piece of the bat. I don't know that it's actually worth taking a look at, to be honest with you, but the play is under official review. So, we kill a little bit of time here with the play under official review to see if indeed that was actually a hit by pitch or a foul ball. Well, Baker Brandon, they do need to tighten up, and the sooner the better. So we await the off-site replay center. As we wait, Ryan Stanek and Jimmy Crooks play a little bit of a game of catch there to keep them loose. And the umpire puts the earpiece in, so let's see. Man, that's close. Let's see. Well, Myers seems to be walking back towards home plate, so I don't exactly... There hasn't been a call made yet, and the home plate umpire has the earpiece, and he's talking to the off-site replay center, or, you know, whoever the liaison is. I think Myers is going back, picking up his bat, because he knows he's going to get caught BSing, but I can't be sure of that. It seems odd that a guy that would be certain he was hit would ever walk back towards home plate. So let's see here. It'll either be a runner on first or an 0-2 count. And they are taking their sweet time trying to figure this out. It is a foul tip. Okay. So Myers was full of it. He played it up to the fullest extent. So there's no runner on. It's an 0-2 count with one out. He gets back into the box. You know, you got to give him a round of applause for the dramatic performance at the very least. It may have been obvious, CCSY, but that doesn't mean he wasn't going to try to squeeze every drop out of it. Now, coming set is Stanek. It's an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Fouled back on the splitter away. The count remains 0-2. I mean, there is comedy there. Hey, it's JoJo Spades. Good to see you, JoJo. Apologies if I missed you earlier. Stanek is back in on the bump. He sets at the Birds. The 0-2. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count remains 0-2. No one is happier than Ollie. Yeah. Coming set is Stanek. The 0-2. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball on the outside corner. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. So this is turning into a rather lengthy at-bat. Should we have expected anything else? I do not know. Now Stanek sets the 0-2 pitch. A slider away and over the lefty batter's box. The count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So nobody on, 1 out, top of the 8th inning. 3-2 Reds. The difference in this game, a 2-run home run by Eugenio Suarez. Now the 1-2, swinging strike 3, down, hack, and he goes for the second out of the inning. So a pair of strikeouts here in the top of the 8th for Ryan Stanek. He gets Myers hacking on that one. And now here comes the 9-hitter, the second baseman, Arroyo. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Now the first pitch, foul down the first base side. Now to play on the 4-seam fastball up and in. The count is 0-1. It's a righty-lefty matchup for the 22-year-old second baseman. Now the 0-1. A 4-seam fastball inside and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Now, here's the pitch. A slider outside, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Now, come in set. The 2-1 pitch. A 4-seam fastball just low on the outer third, and the count is 3-1. Stanek is back onto the bump. He comes set at the Birds. The 3-1 to Arroyo. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by Burleson on a hop on the line. Tosses Stanek cover and beats him to the bag for the third and final out of the inning. No runs on no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 7.5 innings of play, it is 3-2 Reds going to the bottom of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. All right. It is getting late. And it's getting late early, as the case would be. This game is only, a little over 2 hours old. And I'm 2 hours older because of it. Though I suppose I would be anyway. Now, due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 8th inning is Blaze Jordan. He's responsible for both of the Cardinal runs tonight. Followed by Jimmy Crooks, and then J.J. Witherall. Pinch hitter for Crooks, possibly. Possibly. The other day on the Wednesday, getaway day out in Anaheim, Pedro Pajes was originally in the starting lineup. He actually got scratched due to a stomach virus, so Jimmy Crooks got himself a spot start that day. All right. Roger Baseman. I think being a Cardinal fan is the best because we're humbled to a point of numbness. And the next thing you know, we're world champions. That seems to have been the formula, certainly over the last, well, I guess most of the last 40 years. But certainly in the last 15. Not more than that, about the last 20. When you consider both of them were wild card berths in the last 20. But only a fine organization could pull that off. So 8, 9, and 1 in the Cardinal order due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hit a home run and go home and go get yourself a steak dinner. Well, that would be nice. Now, here is the righty, T.J. Antone, in 30 1/3 innings pitched a 2.37 ERA and a whip of 0.92. The first pitch to Blaze Jordan. A sweeper strike on the outside corner, about thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Antone sets the 0-1. A sweeper away and over the lefty batter's box. The count is 1-1. So nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2 Cincinnati. The difference is the 2-run home run by Eugenio Suarez. The 1-1. hit foul down the first base side. Now to play on the slider in, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, presumably, is Jimmy Crooks. We'll see if there's not a pinch hitter there. That remains to be seen. Coming set at the belt is Antone. The 1-2. And there's a fly ball to shallow right field. Underneath it is the first baseman. He makes the catch in shallow right for the first out of the inning. So, a fly out to shallow right for Blaze Jordan is the first out here at the bottom of the 8th inning. Now, Jimmy Crooks, he's up. He's 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 1 out. The first pitch to Crooks. Swinging strike on the cutter upstairs, and the count is 0-1. Jimmy Crooks 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Antone looks in. Infield defense shaded very much towards right with Jimmy Crooks at the plate. The 0-1. Strike. Uncle Charlie on the outer third, thigh high, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. On deck is J.J. Weatherall. He has a couple of walks tonight. And the catcher Stevenson's granted timeout, going out there to have a chat with Antone. And it's a very brief meeting at that. So that all breaks it up. He gets back behind the plate. It's an 0-2 count with 1 out. Jimmy Crooks at the plate. Antone is back onto the bump. He comes set. Now the 0-2. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play. And the count is 0-2. Nobody on with 1 out. 3-2 Reds here in the bottom of the 8th. Antone comes set. Here's the pitch. A curveball down and in the dirt. The count is 1-2. Jimmy Crooks back into the box. Antone sets. He holds, he deals. Hit on out there into right center field and in for a base hit. It goes all the way to the base of the wall. Rounding first, going to second is Jimmy Crooks, and he'll be into second with a stand-up 1-out double here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So a very timely double there in the alley in right center. Goes all the way to the wall, and now there's going to be a pinch hitter for Jimmy Crooks at second. Let's see who they're going to. It'd be either Brian Torres or Fermin. Probably Brian Torres, and then you'd have Pajes, presumably, assuming he's well enough, serve as the backup catcher. Of course, there is the catcher that they signed today, which could have something to do with that. And it's Jose Fermin, who's the pinch runner out at second for Jimmy Crooks. So a runner on second with 1 out. Here is J.J. Weatherall. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper down and in. Swinging over the top of that one is Weatherall, and the count is 0-1. Weatherall, a ground out and a couple of walks. Infield defense shaded heavily towards right with the lefty Weatherall. Runner leads off second with 1 out. The 0-1. Swinging strike over the sweeper down and in, and the count is 0-2. Well, not an identical outcome to the previous pitch. It was a very similar sweeper, very similar idea. Antone takes a couple of deep breaths out there on the bump. Coming sets Antone. The 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Weatherall on the sweeper down and in for the second out of the inning. So basically, Antone got J.J. Weatherall swinging on 3 extremely similar pitches. And that'll be the second out. Now here comes Jordan Walker. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. 12 pitches so far for Antone. Walker has not looked great tonight. He's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. Fouled off the check swing on the sweeper up and in. The count is 0-1. Jordan gets back into the box. Infield defense heavily shaded towards left with the righty Walker. Runner leads off second with 2 out. Cummins set. The 0-1. And there is a fly ball into shallow center field. Going back as the second baseman. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. So Antone in and out of trouble. And after 8 full innings of play, it is 3-2 Reds going to the top of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. Helping out the channel more than you can know. And I greatly appreciate it. And if you like what you see in here and it's your first time or you've been back several times but you haven't subscribed yet and you're enjoying yourself, then what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. Be great to have you. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-2 Reds going to the top of the 9th. All right. Well, that was disappointing. That Jimmy Crooks double getting wasted there. Definitely not my idea of a fun Friday night, but hey, what can I tell you? Okay. Who's the catcher he signed today? Let me pull up his numbers. I didn't recognize his name when I was reading out the transactions earlier. Okay. Due up for the Reds in the top of the 9th inning is De La Cruz, Stewart, and Blade. So 1, 2, 3 in their order. Let's see. Let's try and find out for you. Eduardo Mirabal. Signed him as a free agent. 18 years old. Well, he's definitely not there just to fill a roster spot. Signed to a minor league deal. Looks like an international signing, if I were to guess. If that would be my guess. But I don't know very much else about him. All right, we are here for the top of the 9th inning. Now, here's the pitch. Foul back on the four-seam fastball down Broadway. The count is 0-1. Luis Gastelum in 6 games, 6 innings pitched, a 6 ERA, a 1.50 whip, and 10.5 Ks per 9. Righty-lefty matchup. It's an 0-1 count. Here's the 0-1. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Ellie De La Cruz is 1 for 4 tonight. Now, Gastelum comes set. The 1-1. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Now, Gastelum sets at the belt. The 2-1. A changeup away floats over the righty batter's box, and the count is 3-1. Coming set is Gastelum, the 3-1. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball down and in, so Ellie De La Cruz works a leadoff walk, and that gives the Reds a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning. One thing I will say about Gastelum is that he definitely has some good stuff, and when it's working, it works very well. Now here is Sal Stewart. Righty-righty matchup. There goes the runner. He bluffs. Staying right there at first is Ellie De La Cruz. The pitch is low, and the count is 1-0. You're almost always assuming he's going. De La Cruz takes a big lead off first. It's a 1-0 count. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball outside quarter above the knees. The count is 1-1. Joshua Baez is something else. Good job. He can potentially be a very exciting player, and I really hope he is at the big league level. He's dominating AAA. Runner leads off first. Throwing on over. Back in time with the head first slide is De La Cruz. Runner leads off first. Gastelum sets at the belt. There goes the runner. Here's the throw. Here's the play. And he is ruled safe at second. So De La Cruz steals second off of Pedro Pages, who is in for defensive purposes following the pinch runner for Jimmy Crooks at second following his one-out double when Jose Fermin pinch run for him. So a runner on second with nobody out. It's a 2-1 count. Sal Stewart is in the box. Gastelum is back onto the bump. He comes, set at the belt. The 2-1. And did it get a piece of him? Well, it certainly got by Pages. Going to third easily is De La Cruz on the pitch. And now there's a runner at third. And it's a 2-1 count. So it appears to have missed Sal Stewart. However, it is definitely a wild pitch. I would say most definitely. Oh, yeah. In fact, I am shocked that did not get a little bit of the blousing on the front of the jersey there of Sal Stewart. Runner on third with nobody out. It's a 3-1 count. Infield defense playing even with the bag just on the lip of the grass. A ground ball right to him. They'll have at least a chance to get him at the plate. Here's the pitch. Hit down to left field and in for a base hit. Scoring easily from third is De La Cruz, and that will give the Reds a 4-2 lead here in the top of the ninth inning. So Sal Stewart with the RBI single to left extends the Reds lead to 4-2, and they have a runner at first with nobody out here in the top of the ninth inning. That looked like either a slider or a sweeper on the inside corner just below the belt. And then Sal Stewart just pushed it out there in the left field. Runner on first, nobody out. Now here comes J.J. Bleday. Righty-lefty matchup. Gastelum comes set. Here's the pitch. Hit to the right side, picked up by Weatherall on the ground. He throws to first in time to get him at first. Moving down to second on the play is Stewart. It was a very lightly hit ground ball to the right side. Weatherall had to charge in, which gave the runner all the opportunity in the world to get down to second safely. So there's a runner on second with one out here at the top of the ninth inning. One already in for the Reds. It's a 4-2 Reds lead. Now here is Eugenio Suarez. 2-run home run in his last at-bat in the top of the sixth inning. Now here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away, and the count is 0-1. Sal Stewart leads off second. Now Gastelum sets. The 0-1. A sinker away, check swing. He did not go around. The count is 1-1. Suarez is back into the box. Sal Stewart leads off second. It's a 1-1 count. Gastelum sets. The pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Suarez adjusts his helmet. Takes the deep breath. Coming set at the belt is Gastelum. The 2-1. Check swing on the changeup. Did he go around? No, says Blue down the first baseline. And the count is 3-1 strike. Gastelum comes set. He deals. Foul back on the four-seam fastball down and away, and the count is full 3-1 to Suarez. Correction, Suarez did that, the 2-run home run in the top of the seventh inning. At the time, that was the difference in this ball game. Made it a 3-2 Reds lead at that point. Now, Gastelum sets. The 3-2. Ball 4 on the sinker, up and in, so Suarez works a one-out walk, and the Reds have runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the ninth inning. One already across. It's a 4-2 Reds lead here in game 1 of 3 in this weekend set. And we have ourselves a pinch runner here at first. Suarez is going to be pinch run for by Hayes. Not Willie Mays Hayes. Though that would be very advantageous in this position for the Reds, no doubt. And here comes the DH, Nathaniel Lau. Stepping into the box is Lau. Runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the ninth inning. It's a 4-2 Reds lead. They have one already in here in the top of the ninth. The righty Gastelum is in for the Redbirds. Righty-lefty matchup. Coming set is Gastelum. Runners lead the first pitch. Strike. Changeup on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Lau is back into the box. Gastelum sets. The 0-1. A foul ball on a check swing on the four-seam fastball up and in, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. So Gastelum's ahead of Lau here, 0-2. He's going to try and put him away. Let's see what happens. Coming set is Gastelum. The 0-2. Hit to the right side, picked up there by Burleson. He throws to second one, on to first. A double play to end the inning. A 3-6-1 double play, and that will do it. However, the Reds push one more across, and they extend their lead to 4-2. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Last lick for the Redbirds. It is a 4-2 Reds lead. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go to the chat. Okay. Almost got an insurance run. Well, you did get an insurance run if you're rooting for the Reds, certainly. But hey, the 3-6-1 double play, there we are. Help limit the damage. But for the Cardinals now, they have quite a challenge ahead of them. Due up is Burleson, Herrera, and Nootbaar. So 3, 4, and 5 in the Cardinals' order in the bottom of the ninth inning. This is a tight one. Not great if you have a heart condition. All right. So we await the bottom of the ninth inning. Let's see where the Reds are going, y'all. Emilia Pagan, the 35-year-old right-hander, in 21 games, a record of 2-1, a 5.59 ERA in 19 2/3 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts in that span, and a 1.29 ERA this year. He has 9 saves in 12 save opportunities for the Reds. He will face the middle of this Cardinals order. So due up first is Burleson. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup when it happens. So Pagan is out there. He comes set. In the box is Burleson. He sets above the belt. The first pitch to Burley. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball, up and away. The count is 0-1. 4-2 Cincinnati here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Last lick for the Redbirds. Nobody on, nobody out. Burleson is 0 for 3 tonight. Pagan sets. He deals. Swinging strike on the splitter, down and in, and the count is 0-2. So it's an 0-2 count here. Burleson in the hole against Pagan. He gets into the box. He comes set. The 0-2 offering. Hit to the right side, and it just slices foul down the right field line for an otherwise null pitch. The count remains 0-2. 3, 4, and 5, Raja. All right, back into the box is Burleson. Pagan back onto the bump. He comes set. Now the 0-2. There's a fly ball to center field. Going back is the center fielder right in front of the track. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Burleson flies out 8 for the first out here in the bottom of the 9th. And here comes Ivan Herrera. It'll be our righty-righty matchup. Now, Pagan comes set. The first pitch to Herrera. Swinging strike on the cutter away, and the count is 0-1. Herrera, a ground out, a hit by pitch, first time since July 4th, and the strikeout looking. He's 0 for 2. Pagan sets. He deals. Strike, four-seam fastball outer third, thigh high, and the count is 0-2. So Herrera, he is playing defense here. He's in the hole 0-2 to Pagan. Come in set. He deals. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball down Broadway for the second out of the inning. So Herrera gets caught in the observatory for the second out here in the bottom of the 9th. And the last opportunity here with 2 out is Lars Dupar. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Lars is 0 for 3 tonight. Pagan comes set. He deals. Strike, four-seam fastball outside quarter above the knees. The count is 0-1. Pagan comes set above the belt. He deals. A cutter downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Newt gets back into the box. This will be the 10th pitch for Pagan here in this outing. He comes set. The pitch. Strike, cutter on the outside corner, whispers over the black about thigh high, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Cards are down to their final strike here with nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the 9th, 4-2 Reds. Pagan sets. And he deals. Swinging strike 3. Down hacking goes Newpar. And that's the final out of the 9th, and a 4-2 Reds lead here in the first of 3 in this weekend set. The Reds pull out the first one here at Busch this weekend. They have themselves a 4-2 victory. So that is the story here tonight. A 4-2 Cincinnati lead and a 4-2 Cincinnati win. I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Friday night with me here on Game Mike. It's always a pleasure spending an evening or an afternoon or any part of the day here with you. We'll be back tomorrow night. It's a 6:15 p.m. Central Time scheduled first pitch at Busch Stadium. I will be live here on Game Mike at 6:05 p.m. Central Time. So first pitch at Busch for Game 2 tomorrow night, 6:15 p.m. Central Time. I'll be back here with the play-by-play live stream on Game Mike at 6:05 p.m. Central Time. A disappointing finale, but there we are. JoJo Spades, thanks for the fun, Paulie D. You're the best. Good night, everyone. Be well, JoJo. Take care of yourself. Jimmy, great call, Paul. Well, thank you, Jimmy. I hope you have a good night. So I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Friday night with me here on Game Mike. 4-2 Cincinnati is your final. I'll be back here at 6:05 with the play-by-play live stream for the 6:15 scheduled first pitch at Busch for Game 2 tomorrow night. And I hope to see you all there. Starting for the Redbirds is Andre Palante. We'll see if he can stop the bleeding. That all remains to be seen. Damien, thanks, Paul. Great content. Reds fan. Hey, Damien, I'm glad you enjoy it. It always means a lot when it comes from a fan of another team like that. And thank you for spending part of your evening with me, Damien. You're always welcome back here. Dwayne Smith, hey, thanks for keeping me company. You got it, Dwayne. Anytime. Anytime. Jeff Coleman, talk tomorrow. Indeed we shall. Thurman, I hope you have a great night. All right, folks, this has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. You're welcome, Jeff. 4-2 Cincinnati is your final. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Warlord, thanks for the game. Good luck, Red and Card fans, for Game 2. You be well, Warlord. Thanks for spending part of your night here with me. I will see you all tomorrow night. This has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. Bombers Game Mike, over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be listening. I'm Paul D. 4-2 Cincinnati is your final. Thank you all, and have a wonderful night. See you all tomorrow.